It was raining again. The kind of rain that feels alive, cold, endless, and full of memories. The city shimmered like a wet painting, lights bending across puddles. Daniel stood by his apartment window, watching the world blur behind the glass. The rain had become a habit, like silence, like loneliness. He hated it, because every time it rained, he remembered her. Clara. On his table sat a half-drunk cup of coffee. Next to it, a yellowed envelope, old and soft at the edges. It had been there for weeks, waiting, just like him. He reached out for it and stopped halfway. Not yet. He wasn't ready. The handwriting on it was hers. Beautiful, flowing, unmistakable. Clara's. 2 months had passed since she vanished. No calls. No notes. Nothing. They said she'd left the city. But Daniel knew that wasn't true. She loved this place. Its noise, its chaos, its sky. She loved him. Clara was not the kind of person who disappeared quietly. She always left traces, a laugh, a sketch on a napkin, the smell of jasmine perfume on his jacket. But now there was nothing. Only the envelope. He finally picked it up. His fingers shook. He whispered to himself, "If this is the truth, I'm ready." He tore it open slowly. Inside was a single folded letter, neat, careful, exactly how she always folded things. He began to read. "Daniel, if you're reading this, it means I didn't make it." His breath caught. He froze. No. She couldn't be gone. He read on, eyes trembling across the page. "There's so much I never told you. I wanted to protect you. I wanted to keep you out of the mess I fell into." He frowned. "What mess?" he whispered. The rain outside hit harder, like an echo to his heartbeat. "You once said love means trust. I hope you still believe that, even after this." Daniel turned the page. "The man who's been following you isn't after you. He's after me. I took something that didn't belong to him." Daniel's heart pounded. He remembered the black car that had parked near his building last week. He thought it was a stranger. It wasn't. "If I disappear, don't try to find me. But if you must, go to the old lighthouse. There's something waiting for you there." The lighthouse. He knew it instantly. That was their place. He closed his eyes and saw it again. The sea, the salt, her laughter. 3 years ago, he'd spilled coffee on her sketchbook. Instead of getting angry, she laughed and said, "Guess the sea wanted a new shade of brown." That was the moment he fell for her. He grabbed his coat and ran out into the storm. The streets were slick, the sky cracked open with thunder. He drove fast, the windshield wipers matching the rhythm of his racing heart. When he reached the coast, the storm was wild, waves crashing like drums. The lighthouse stood there, tall and ghostly, silent, watching. He pushed open the door. It creaked like an old memory. The air inside smelled of salt, wood, and time. On a dusty table sat a small wooden box. A note was taped to it. For Daniel. He opened it slowly. Inside was a photo of him and Clara, smiling in the sunlight, faces alive, carefree. Behind it, another folded letter. "If you found this, you didn't give up. I knew you wouldn't. You always said truth matters more than safety. So here it is." Daniel's throat tightened. He turned the page. "The man chasing me is my father." He froze. The word father felt like a blade. "He's not who you think he is. He's done terrible things. I found proof, hidden accounts, bribes, names. I was going to expose him, but he found out before I could." Daniel whispered, "Oh, Clara, I ran because I didn't want you to be part of it. If he knew we were together, he'd use you against me. So I left. But I'll finish this, even if it means disappearing for good." Daniel dropped the letter and looked around. Something didn't feel right. He noticed a faint scratch on the wooden floor near the corner. A hidden latch. He knelt down and pulled. The floorboard lifted, revealing a small metal box. Inside were folders, photos, and USB drives. Evidence. Everything she had mentioned. Then his phone buzzed. Unknown number. He answered. A deep voice said, "You should have stayed out of this." Click. Silence. Daniel looked out at the storm. His reflection in the glass looked older, harder, different. He whispered, "Not this time." He took the box, locked the lighthouse, and disappeared into the rain. Days turned into weeks. Daniel moved carefully, never staying in one place. He studied every file Clara had left. Hidden transactions. Offshore accounts. Every secret her father had buried. He couldn't go to the police. Her father owned them. So he found another way. Late at night, in an old cafe, he met a journalist. A woman named Evelyn. Sharp eyes, calm voice. She said, "If what you have is real, this will burn half the city." Daniel nodded. "It's real. She died for it." Evelyn looked at him, then at the flash drive. "Then we'll make sure she didn't die for nothing." They worked for weeks, gathering more evidence, verifying every detail. Every night Daniel dreamed of Clara, her voice, her laughter, her warning. Don't let fear decide your story. One night, while reviewing documents, Evelyn gasped. "Daniel, look at this." A bank transfer from Clara's father's company to a foreign address. The name on it made Daniel freeze. "Clara." He stared. "She's alive?" Evelyn said softly. "If she used that account recently, yes." Daniel felt the air leave his lungs. Alive. She was alive. Weeks later, headlines filled every screen. Powerful businessman exposed in massive corruption scandal. The evidence was undeniable. Anonymous whistleblower. Total collapse of his empire. But Daniel didn't care about that. He cared about one thing. He returned to the lighthouse. The storm was gone. The sky was clear for the first time in months. He climbed the stairs slowly. At the top, sunlight spilled across the room. And there, leaning against the window, was a sketchbook. Old, familiar. He opened it. Inside were drawings of the sea, of him, of hope. And one message written across the last page. "You did it. I knew you would. Don't come looking for me." Some stories need to stay unfinished to be beautiful. He smiled through tears. She was alive somewhere, free. And that was enough. He looked out at the ocean, the same one where they first met. He whispered, "Don't let fear decide your story." The wind carried his words out to sea, like a letter that would always find its way home.